Hello everyone, welcome to Matt Hill's Scar Models, and yes, it's another update on this Matchbox Dornier Do18 flying boat. I've got the construction done. There's one little piece there that I want to show you. I left off intentionally to show you a downfall. This will be a video of what I think will be some ideas to help you improve the build of this kit, and I'm not saying that I'm an expert on it or anything. I'm just suggesting that this could be a way to help you if you do get a chance to build this, because it is a very nice model kit to build. To start with, I said before, I've opened up these engine intakes here on the top. Just carefully, if they're molded solid, just drill them out with the pin vise, and then worked a very sharp number 11 blade in there and made them look like they're hollow. And then I've glued the wings on and put the engine nacelle on top of the fuselage, as you can see through there in the cross bracing. Now this is where I think this kit has one of its major downfalls. If you glue the nacelle on and then glue the wings on, it's not a very good fit. It's very hard to get into the underside of this kit to repair the damage or the poor fit underneath. My suggestion will be to glue the wings to the engine nacelle and then glue it down once you've filled all the gaps in, and change the way the instructions show you how to do it. The other thing you've got to be very careful with this kit is where the engine nacelle is glued down to the fuselage here. It's not a very, very strong or good fitting bond to the kit. And if you don't get these wings perfectly straight, then it will interfere with these struts. These struts will start to get a bow in them, because they're under pressure. And I'll get this thing back in the camera. God blimey, I don't know. These will get a bend in them and look shit. The other thing you might have noticed, and no one did comment about it, that I glued these spontoons on upside down. I got distracted watching the Battlestar Galactica series that I got, the complete original series. And yes, you should always double check something before you glue it on. But oh no, old Matt just glued them on because he knows everything. Not. And yeah, so I had to pull these apart, glue them back on again, and really struggled getting these seam lines cleaned back up. But I've just about got it. So follow the instructions. Don't get sidetracked watching Battlestar Galactica or porn or anything like that. Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap here. I've got to just fix up around the front of this engine nacelle where it glues onto the fuselage. This is the weakest point. So my suggestion would be to use a really good slow setting glue, like your not your extra thin or anything like that. I think it's not as strong. It's got to be very strong. So I would probably even recommend an epoxy glue, which I've used for the first time on this, gluing the Canopy on. We'll get to that in a minute. You know, your Testor's Red or your Humbrol glue, something that's slow setting but will bond really, really hard with some extra strength. So that's the only way you're going to get a good finish on this, so it won't move. Because while you're trying to put these struts in, you want to make sure that the wing is not going to move, because otherwise you'll bugger the whole alignment up. The other weak point in this kit, which I suggest people do, and it's be a good way to help strengthen and improve the skills, is that on these tail sections they give you two little tiny tabs which go into some corresponding holes in the back of this tail section here. I suggest that you carefully mark those with a little center punch made from an old airbrush needle, and drill them out and put some little brass rods in there so you get a really strong bond, because these, one tap and they'll fall off. They're very, very, very weak. The rest of the parts are the same. If you wanted to, yeah, make some little brass pins that go in there, little brass pins, some florist wire, anything you got laying around that's nice and thin and reasonably strong. Also, if you put some florist wire or some easy bending wire in there, you could pose these tail surfaces in the down position. You can also see that there was plenty of filler in these top wings through here. I am now thinking that if I did build it the way that I've suggested to, that the fit would be a lot better, but I could be wrong. There is the filler round the gun positions there where the sink marks were, and there as well, and underneath here, which I know for a fact I'll need some more before primer. They've come up okay, but I'll know more once a bit of Mr. Service 1500 black goes on. They'll stand out like dogs, you know what. The Canopy is the first time I've taken advice from Mr. Frankie Days, and I've used the 5-minute epoxy. Dries clear and nice and strong. This Canopy doesn't fit the best. There's no sort of really low, you know, you've got to guesstimate the centre of it with the centre of your panel line here through the centre of the cockpit, and you'll think, oh, the shit fit, it's no good. But the original photos I've seen of these Dornier aircraft, the canopies do sit proud of the fuselage. They're just like a box glass canopy that do sit a little bit proud, so I'm hoping that's going to look okay. The epoxy dries very, very strong and clear and doesn't fog any parts. And the poor fit round the front here, because I used epoxy, it filled it in nice and smooth. I just come back through with a little brush and I brushed the epoxy as smooth as I could get it, and just clean the brush off in some lacquer thinners, and look, it worked really, really well. I'm really happy with it, and I think I'll be using it more. I don't know about making my own porthole windows or anything like that, but for gluing canopies on that are a bit shitty and a bit of a tricky fit, I think you can't beat it. The other thing is, when you'll be working on the underside of the surface, Humber will give you two little raised rings, location points for the little steering flaps or rudders. I drilled them out now, and so my rudders have got somewhere nice and safe to sit. This kit didn't come with a stand. The only thing I think is going to look horrible is displaying this with, because it's just not going to sit nice. I might try to make a cradle for it to sit in, so it sits nicely and flat. It'd be nice to build a diorama base with it on water, but I haven't got the skills for that. Anyways, I've gone off topic again as usual. Now, this is also, these wing flaps here are going to be a bit of an issue. They don't sort of fit where they want you to fit them, but I think you'll have to carefully straighten or bend these, however, to get them to fit properly. And then there's, just work them slowly and glue them down a little bit at a time. I am going to be putting these on after I painted the aircraft, because I don't want to spoil my paint job with glue if I do happen to get a little bit of glue run away. Sorry, I'm going to put them on, then have to be careful, Matthew, of getting glue on, but I think they will interfere with my mask that I want to use, so I'll do all these separately. There's a couple of areas for some cable, they'll go on last, some aerial posts, etc, etc, and yeah, we'll get on the painting very, very soon. As I said before, the propellers, I'll just spray the yellow for the tips, but these will need a bit of clean up. You just got to sit down for 20 minutes or more and just clean up the hub. Probably the worst moulded part for injection, well, sliding and mismoulding that I've seen was this part, the props of the kit with the letdown. Everything else has gone together really well. Thank you all for your kind words on this project and building some of these older kits. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you to my new subscribers and to my old subscribers who always comment. Greg Riley, Red 13, Big Charlie, Charlie Mac, Tony Perez. I've got Smoky Mountain Modeler, and I probably forgot heaps more as usual, but thank you guys, and I really, really appreciate it. It's coming up to nearly 10 minutes. Be safe, model hard, a little bit of effort you can get a good result from an old model kit.